She might be the sexiest Transformer ever. Welcome back to the show. It's the most wholesome man on the internet, Gay for May. And today we're looking at one of the single most anticipated releases of my entire collecting career. Flame Toy's Windblade is a figure that received a degree of heated controversy upon her reveal, with a shrill minority criticizing her exaggerated femininity and relatively suggestive design. 2 years later, and finally it's time to give this landmark model kit its day in the sun. But as much as I want to gush over her, like a 15-year-old who just discovered his aunt's naked yoga videos on YouTube, there's a fair number of challenges and annoyances I had with this kit, including one very big problem that almost ruined my experience entirely. Designed with the attributes of a fashion doll, Flame Toy's Windblade is tall, slender, and gorgeous. Roughly Voyager-sized in height, featuring a dark gray frame, with red punctuating her most precious bits. Her long and thin limbs broken up by golden joints and accented with a smattering of blue and white highlights. Hashtag can pump out some pretty fine-looking fembots from time to time, and the third-party companies certainly don't slouch either, but I guarantee there's no Transformer quite like this on your shelves. This figure was meant to be worshipped like a fertility goddess. Her face, unbelievably cute. Unmistakably anime-inspired, with gentle features and big bright eyes. Her expression maybe comes off as a little more stern than flirtatious, and I kind of wish she would have been designed to accommodate swappable faceplates. But I am certainly thankful that her face is one of the many pre-painted parts, featuring soft pink lips and her red kabuki makeup. This stuff would have been a nightmare to paint well by hand, and having it factory applied ahead of time definitely makes assembling her more friendly than snap builders. Windblade's torso is athletically built and curvy, with soft rounded peaks, contrasted with layered geometric shapes, and jet mode kibble adorning her back. Here you can also see more of these paint apps, a few light blue sections framing her chest. These little extra touches make her feel very cohesive and complete, without having to apply additional paint or even the included sticker sheet. Yeah, we don't do stickers around here. Though maybe I should at least put on her Autobot badge. But we all know who the real star of the show is. Lovingly surrounded by hips that just don't quit, Windblade's metallic moneymaker descends from my wildest dreams, tearing through the nightmares of every activist killjoy on Twitter.com like a thick Freddy Krueger. Now, you guys know we're all about the chest meats here on the Gay for May show. I am hopelessly addicted to big naturals. Something that was labeled as a disability on my medical records when I was institutionalized. The Secretary of State won't let me have a f***ing handicap placard though. But that doesn't mean I can't appreciate the finely crafted female form in even its most bottom-heavy configuration. This Caminus caboose is made up of two major parts. The larger outer cheek that's noticeably more softly sculpted than the rest of the kit. This provides the mass and includes the hip joint, and this inner piece, which can be positioned to maintain shape and structure. How many other figures can you think of that have independently movable ass cheeks? Cyberverse Slug. I sort of wonder what was going through the designer's head when he sculpted her robot pussy. You don't end up with a mound this plump on accident. Likewise, there's not even an attempt to make her look like she's wearing underwear. She's just letting her bare ass hang out exposed to the elements. Looking at Nicey, who is definitely the most erotic of masterpiece-alike RC figures, she's still wearing metal panties herself. Stare long enough into the abyss, and the abyss claps back. People complain about third-party figures sexing up characters unnecessarily, but especially after the controversy and the adjustments made to the design, I'm shocked that Hasbro let this get made and put the branding on it, considering how explicit Windblade is. By way of comparison, Kotobukiya is designing Bishoujo girls of Optimus and Megatron, and you could probably sell these in the Barbie aisle, and nobody would bat an eye. Apparently they just let Flame Toys do whatever they wanted. They said, hey, we want to hire this porn artist to design Transformers models. And Hasbro went, hell yeah, brother. It's unbelievable that this is an official product, though I'm not complaining, since the main design team seems to be mandated to design fembots that look like 1950s catalog models now. Oh yeah, Gertrude can get it. But I know what the comments are gonna say. They're gonna say, Gay for May, you are a sexist, misogynistic pig who objectifies women and only values them for their attractiveness. That may be true. And coincidentally, this is the last thing my ex told me before she cursed me with the Shallow Hal curse. But stigmatizing someone's natural attraction to femininity is subversive pedantry, no matter how much academic legitimacy you try to throw behind it. And I didn't go to college, so that has no power over me. But today, Windblade's great big auto booty continues to be a source of great pain in my gonads and causes much strife. It seems I even have problems with plastic women now. I was really proud of myself for putting her together with no issues. She's a very dainty figure, so she feels delicate to hold. She's made up of lots of small and fragile parts, which make it incredibly nerve-wracking to assemble, especially when assembling joints or connecting her head and torso pieces together, because they require a lot more force than I was comfortable with. Now, I'm gonna be honest, it all happened so fast, and immediately afterwards I downed some of the delicious chemicals I found under my sink to ease the pain. But after all that struggle to build her, I accidentally cracked the socket that her right leg connects into, leaving this leg noticeably looser and constantly needing to be reattached. Okay, so I did buy two, and I will probably attempt to fix this one after this review. But it just sucks, because this is a figure that I waited so long to get, fought so many battles over, and watched as everyone else got theirs first. And she broke in less than a week of me having her. This is like in A Christmas Story, where Ralphie spends the whole movie lusting after the Red Ryder BB gun, despite everyone's warnings.
Don't shoot your eye out!
Except when he gets the gun at the end, instead of breaking his glasses, he shoots his penis off. This really cements in my head that Windblade here is not a figure to play with. It's something more akin to an articulated statue. You pose her, and then you put her away on a shelf for 6 months at a time. You take it down once in a while to dust it, but you don't touch it otherwise. Arguably, most Transformers are like this, but they're nowhere near as pretty. But even getting Windblade in a pose can be another challenge entirely. Now, she's got great articulation. Every joint has an incredibly wide range of motion, and there are actually some rather unorthodox joints, such as these hinges below her wrists, and her wings are very poseable, being able to tilt up and down and swing in and out. She can be super cool and badass, or sexy and seductive, and she'll stand just fine if you stand her straight up in a normal pose. But when she's fully assembled, the guards in front of her feet cause her toes to curl, which makes her footing unstable, and means putting her in more extreme poses is a big hassle. As you see, I wrote that in the script, and then when I was filming, I put her in this funky pose and I was able to move her around without her falling over. But getting her in this pose in the first place was still a pain in the ass. I know what you're thinking. Well, I'll just put her on a stand.
You mean you didn't figure it out? Oh, you're really not as smart as I thought you were.
That's right, bitch. In another odd choice, one she shares with the Red Line actually, they've neglected to make her compatible with standard Bandai stands. Okay, so I actually think that this small tab on her back is supposed to be where you would attach a stand adapter, but she herself doesn't come with one, and I was unable to find one that fits among my admittedly limited number of stand accessories. So when I put her on display, I will be using a static stand with a claw attachment to hold her in place. Again, partially because of the leg, and partially because of the feet. But it's so absurd to me when you leave out a feature that is assuredly an industry standard at this point, especially as her contemporaries are designed to be naturally stand compatible. Now, to be fair, it would probably be a little uncouth to plug a stand port right into her T-hole like the other figures do. But where's the controversy about that? I guess it's just okay to do this to guys. Do you think Taika Waititi has a cut of the new Thor movie where you can see Chris Hemsworth's visible nutsack? The last Flame Toys kit I built was G1 Optimus, and I think he may have spoiled me in terms of expectations because of his array of accessories. He included multiple sets of hands as well as 2 different weapons. So imagine my shock when I saw that Windblade has an absolutely pitiful number of accessories. She has a set of splayed hands, a set of gripping hands, and 2 swords for her to grip. I'd love to be the boss at Flame Toys though, so I could have a meeting with the guy who designed Windblade's hands. You know, invite him into my office, I got a big smile on my face, and I say to him, "It's Morbin time for your salary, my friend, 'cause you're f***ing fired." She barely holds the swords, and it's a struggle to even get them in her hands because her fingers like to fly off. And how do you not include, say, a pair of resting hands, or at the very least, a pair of fists? If nothing else about this toy, it certainly breaks the mold, but not always in good ways.
What's black and blue and dead all over? Penis.
Flame Toys Windblade is a bit of a mixed bag for me. She is without a doubt a dazzling figure to behold. Voluptuously designed, she's bold and immodest with her sexuality, refusing to pull any punches. She features articulation far beyond what you'll find in a mainline Transformer. And as a model kit, although somewhat challenging to build, she doesn't really require any extra work to complete. I think the fact that she includes so many pre-painted parts is a huge plus that definitely shouldn't be overlooked. But I really hope that didn't mean other concessions had to be made, like limiting her option parts. Now, I did break her, and I'm not really factoring that into my conclusion on her, but it seems important to mention as both a warning to anyone who considers buying this figure, as well as a plea to the designers to find out if this kind of thing can be avoided with their next release. Really looking forward to that RC, by the way. But overall, I have to say this is definitely not a figure for everyone. It's not even about whether you consider it appropriate or not. It's just that this model kit is as niche of a product as you can get, hitting a very precise trifecta between Transformers fan, Gunpla modeler, and robot tummy enthusiast, and there I am right in the middle. So if you're anything like me, and you're not dissatisfied by a lack of accessories, Flame Toys Windblade could have a spot as the most beautiful figure in your collection. Now all I need is a third-party company to make her some bigger boobies. If you're interested in non-transforming figures, check out this review for Studio Series Bumblebee Soundwave. But anyway, that's just my opinions. Please leave yours in the comments below. Bye bye.
That ass.